the sweet spot, at least for bullet weight and design. What's the reason why there's that sweet spot in whitetail bullets? It's generally pretty light for caliber, not heavy for caliber like the new trend. But if you think about it, the only heavy caliber for bullets we're using for deer are when you get down into like 6mm and under. After that, they're generally light for caliber. Now, one will say, yeah, you get the most velocity, which is true. Yeah, you can get good energy, which is true. But here's the thing. A deer is not a heavily built animal. Now remember, we're not talking about every possible deer species on Earth. We're talking about whitetails and mule deer. Sure, a moose is a member of the deer family, but to include it with light for caliber bullets would be silly. So here we go. Let's think about it. 270 Winchester, one of the most popular rifles of all time. 130 grain bullet. Still today, 130 grain bullet. 308 Winchester, 30 caliber. And all the 30 calibers. You're probably looking at more guys shooting 150 to possibly 165 grain bullet at deer for most situations. 25 caliber. Guys are shooting 100, which to me is just a little light in that caliber just to get more speed, but say 110 to 120 grain bullet. Do you really need anything more? Here's the other thing. It's easy to do. It's easy to get a lighter bullet flying at that somewhere close, like between 2,800 and 3,000 feet a second, without a lot of recoil. Let's think about that. You can shoot a 125 or 130 grain bullet out of a 30 caliber, out of a 308 or 30-06, and get some really extreme velocity without recoil. You could do the same thing with a 120 grain bullet out of a 7mm 08. Get really good velocity, not much recoil. 25-06, sure. Now even with the 25 Creedmoor, you'll get close to 3,000 feet a second out of a 120 grain bullet, or you will get 3,000 out of 110. So there's some positives. Now, let's take a look at another positive that people haven't thought of. I can't think of it. There is no other positive, because that's all you need. Because the average deer is killed under 200 yards. And even with the velocities we're talking about, it's easily a 300-yard rifle, and some of them are 400. So for most people, the need for a heavy, long for caliber bullet just isn't there. And it's statistics. Statistically, you don't need it. Sure, you could live in Wyoming or Idaho or somewhere else where you're going to stretch your barrel. And I could see the heavier for caliber bullet there. But for most of the whitetail deer range and a lot of mule deer hunting, it's unneeded. I know some people are going to disagree, but till next time, I'm Steve.